So when we reach this above the opposites, then I can choose as necessary. I can be attached as necessary, I can be detached as necessary. That's the whole idea of Vairagya and Viveka. So this happens when the mind properly regulated and disciplined and egoism assumes a purified state. Thus it is that Viveka or discrimination, in fact, the result of practices followed in order to bring the desired results. Now, Vairagya, the second sadhana of Vedantis, is likewise the result of Viveka. So they are thus stages of elementary attainment in yoga and not the sadhanas or means of attainment of these stages. So in Sahaj Marg or heartfulness, wherever you hear Sahaj Marg, you can read it as heartfulness. In Sahaj Marg of yoga, Viveka and Vairagya, discrimination and renunciation, are not treated as practices, but are left aside to be developed automatically by an aspirant during his progress. It starts from what is known as third sadhana, third element of practice of the Vedantis, which consists of 6 forms of spiritual attainment, known as Shat Sampatti. The first of these sampattis is Sham, which pertains to the peaceful condition of mind, a balanced state, leading to a state of calmness and tranquility. When we practice, discrimination and vairagya follow automatically. So, vairagya, in the sense of non existence of things, is, in my opinion, a very difficult process. For in it, you have to take up the negative course and discard or reject everything that comes to your view. But if you take a positive view and accept the one thing only as real, sticking to it wholeheartedly, other things will naturally fall in the background. So, what here basically it is saying is, when we realize this higher essence within, then that becomes my goal. Rest everything drops. And we see it in even in mundane things. When we are facing a situation at work, or we have to address a problem, that becomes the primary goal in our mind. At that point, everything else drops. We're constantly thinking about it. When this realization becomes the real problem in my life, then the priority for rest all sort of drops automatically. Correct? And that's the nature of the mind. Whatever it focuses on, see, mind can only focus on one thing. There's no one in the world can do multitasking. And in fact, you will be surprised if I say this. The the when we try to do multitasking all the time, the mind starts becoming weak and weaker. Nowadays, you don't see, those of you know this process of the avadhana. Avadhana means the people do sahasravadhana, means they take 1,000 questions at a time and they randomly answer any question which was put to them, and they'll point out which person asked the question. And these questions are most of the time are random. They have to create uh, poetry on the fly. They have to create situations on the fly and explain. But over a period of time, their mind becomes very weak because it has to do a lot of multitasking. The mind's ability is to focus on only one thing at a time. It works much better. So today, while we are watching the TV, we are watching the TV and playing a game on the phone, and then, trying to look into some subject or something to work. See how we are dividing the mind and it becomes weak over a period of time. I have seen Chariji, I mean, one of the teachers or global teachers or the gurus of this heartfulness system, the previous one before Daji. Chariji, his name is Chari, so with respect, people call him Chariji. I have seen him to whatever he attends to, he attends 100%. If he is talking to you for 2 minutes, that 2 minutes, all his attention is on you. He is not thinking of anyone else other than you in those 2 minutes. So as a result, what I have observed is whatever he's on, he finishes it 100%. Then that means there is no need to attend to it again. Such a great ability. And how it happened is just giving that 100% attention. And the same thing, if any kid, when the kid walks to you or your children walk to you, that 3 minutes you gave them full attention, they are happy. You are happy. The same thing when your spouses walk to you, give them full attention for 3 minutes, they are happy. But instead, what happens is, we are always constantly multitasking. We are paying attention, we are not paying attention. Thus, the result is you are neither there, nor here. In every aspect of life, you are nor there nor here. That's how life goes. But if you see the most successful people, whether it's in management, whether it's any subjects or anything, they have an undivided attention on anything they do. That's what brings the success. So that's a very important, this undivided attention in whatever we are doing. The same thing happens in meditation. Or if I meditate, we're already thinking what should be the result of that meditation. That's why Lord Krishna cleverly put it in his Gita statement, you do the job and leave the results to me. That means if you are already thinking of the results, you cannot do the job efficiently and perfectly. So all these things are there, then what we think, oh, I must leave the results, so I should not have the desire to have the results and things like that. We kind of tangentially go in the other way. Reason, we don't have that right viveka developed in us. So it's very essential to understand these things. They're very subtle. But as we progress, all these states are automatically created in us. So thinkers have classified the tendencies of the mind under 5 heads. The first of these, known as kshipta, is disturbed condition of the mind, including all feelings such as hunger, thirst, anger, sorrow, desire for wealth, fame, etc. Kshipta means disturbance, disturbed condition. The root word for klesha. The second is moda, means includes the tendencies which promote sluggishness, indolence or sloth. The third is vikshipta, pertains to the tendency which drives the mind away from sacred thoughts and brings about the haunting of numerous irrelevant ideas at the time of meditation. The fourth is the ekagra vritti, is the tendency which makes our attention fixed on one thing only. The last one is niruddha, is the tendency which brings the mind to a perfectly self-contained state, free from complexities and disturbances. So, to achieve this last stage, sages have generally advised a well-known Ashtanga Yoga, that is by Patanjali. And under the natural path systems, Sahaj system of training, we start from dhyana. If you see the 8 limbs of the practice proposed by Patanjali, a saint Patanjali who lived almost 2000 BC, said yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara. The pranayama, many people know, the breathing exercises. Yama means discipline. And pratyahara means withdrawal of all the senses. And dhyana is the 7th limb element. Dhyana means meditation. And samadhi means going into a deeper state. So what we do is we start from meditation. When the meditation happens, all other 6 will follow automatically. If you do the right kind of meditation. And then that dhyana leads into samadhi. Samadhi really means the original condition. Original condition where the life emerged itself. That state is known as samadhi. So under the heartfulness system of training, we start from meditation, the 7th step of yoga, fixing our mind on the point in order to practice meditation. The previous steps are not taken up separately, but they automatically come into the practice as we proceed on with the meditation. Thus, much of our time and labor is saved by this means. So, in short, we start our practice from Sham, the first of the 6 sampattis. So, I mean, let's not really dwell into which one is first and second, but basically, through meditation, all the things will follow automatically. And all the control of the senses, regulation of the senses will follow automatically. So everything is normalized. There is no excessive of anything. There is no excessive of renunciation, non-attachment. There is no excessive of ego. There is no excessive of disturbances or otherwise. There is no excess peace, there is no excess disturbance. What it means is a normal, balanced state. So any other element if I want to bring in is at my control. I can be sad, I can be happiness is within my control. How far I go in becoming sad, how far I can go in happiness is in my control. So that is why when I am above the opposites, I can choose as necessary. Because all these elements in some way makes us human. So we are not trying to become stoics here, stone like, no feelings, no emotions. We're not becoming a zero like that. We are becoming a zero by being in a balanced state. We can become zero by negating everything, or we can become zero in a balanced state. So you can have it, or you don't have to have it. Either way is fine. So that is what is normalization and regulation of the entire, all the faculties. And that is the result of this meditation. So I'll stop here and let's get into meditation.